right now, at this very moment, there is free food growing in your yard that you have probably been pulling out and throwing away for years. Hello and welcome to this explainer. I am so genuinely glad you're here. We're going to take a slow, quiet walk through your garden together today, and I promise you, you are about to see the soil right outside your door in a completely new light.
You know, most of us look at the little plants pushing up through the soil and we just see a nuisance, right? It's not food we planted, we didn't water it or fertilize it or carefully tend to it, but it is food. Food that arrived entirely on its own, spread across your lawn, quietly waiting for you to notice it. Today I'm going to show you how the most common weeds growing in your garden are genuinely delicious, extraordinarily nutritious, and honestly, more valuable than the vegetables we spend good money on at the grocery store every single week.
Now, before we get to our list, I just want to share a quick piece of guidance, simply from one gardener to another. Always make absolutely sure you've correctly identified a wild plant before you eat it. You only want to harvest from areas you know for a fact haven't been sprayed with pesticides or chemicals, so avoid roadsides and public verges. And as with anything new you introduce to your diet, just start out with small amounts to make sure your body agrees with it. Just a few simple, sensible steps so we can forage safely and confidently together.
All right, let's dive into this. We're going to start with probably the most familiar face in your lawn, the humble dandelion. You know, this is actually one of the most completely edible plants in the natural world. Literally every single part of it is a gift. You recognize those jagged green leaves and those bright yellow flowers, right? Well, did you know those young spring leaves are beautifully tender and just slightly bitter? They're absolutely perfect tossed fresh into a salad or wilted down in a pan with a little olive oil and a clove of garlic. And the roots? If you did on our blood sugar, our digestion, and liver health, the dandelion is a well-studied medicinal plant. It's an absolute powerhouse growing right outside your door, completely for free. So next time you see one, maybe don't be so quick to reach for the weed puller. Now, our next plant usually gets a pretty bad rap. Stinging nettles. We all recognize those tall, jagged leaves that give us that painful brush when we're working in the garden beds. But here's an incredible secret. If you just blanch those young tops in boiling water for 60 seconds, the sting completely and entirely disappears. Gone. And what you're left with is a deep, rich, intensely flavored green that tastes like the most satisfying, earthy spinach you've ever eaten in your life. Seriously, saute an onion and a bit of butter, add those blanched nettles and a chopped potato, pour over some good stock, and you have a deeply, deeply nourishing soup. Nettles actually contain more iron than most red meats, alongside bone-supporting minerals like calcium and magnesium. For anyone over 60 paying attention to bone health and iron levels, nettles aren't a garden problem. They are a literal, nutritional treasure, just sitting there, waiting for you. Moving away from the tall nettles, let's look down at your summer garden beds for our next remarkable plant. It's called purslane. You're looking for a low-growing succulent with these small, round, fleshy leaves and thick, flat, reddish stems that just spread out across your soil. When you take a bite, it has a surprisingly crisp texture and a really mild, faintly lemony flavor. It's absolutely wonderful when you chop it fresh and mix it into some Greek yogurt with a little cucumber and mint. It's so refreshing. But the true magic of purslane? It contains the highest omega-3 fatty acids of any land plant on Earth. Think about that. Omega-3s are absolutely crucial for heart health, brain function, and soothing inflammation, which are just such comforting benefits for anyone over 50. So let it grow and let your garden feed your heart all summer long. As we look ahead to our winter pantry, we find a lovely little plant called chickweed. Now, this is a delicate, soft carpet of tiny oval leaves connected by thin, branching stems. And the amazing thing is, it actually thrives in the cold, damp months of late autumn and winter, right when everything else is dying back. It offers a flavor that's mild, fresh, and just faintly reminiscent of cucumber. You can use it exactly as you would watercress or baby spinach in your winter salads or even just tucked into a sandwich. At a time of year when gardens are bare and, let's be honest, our energy might dip a little, chickweed provides a beautiful, living source of fresh B vitamins and iron. It's there to naturally support your mood and your energy during those darker, colder months. It's like a little green lifeline in the middle of winter. Next up is a tall, upright summer weed you've almost certainly pulled from your compost heap, lamb's quarters. You can identify this one easily by its diamond-shaped leaves that have a very distinctive, kind of mealy white coating on the underside, almost like they were lightly dusted with flour. It has a mild, earthy flavor that's actually very similar to spinach, but with a deeper, more complex note to it. You can cook the leaves exactly as you would spinach, just wilted warmly in a pan with some butter. But what makes it truly special is its unmatched nutritional density. It contains far more calcium, iron, and protein than the spinach you'd buy at the store. So instead of fighting it, let it be. It's a completely free, highly productive summer green that effortlessly supports your daily nutrition. Now, keep your eyes low to the ground for this next one, wood sorrel. At first glance, it looks remarkably similar to clover, with these delicate, heart-shaped leaves arranged in little groups of 3. But oh, the flavor is an absolute revelation. It is sharp, bright, clean, and intensely lemony. Literally every part of the plant is edible, and tossing a handful of those fresh leaves into a salad adds this wonderful citrus punch that completely replaces the need to squeeze lemon juice over the top. Plus, it's incredibly rich in vitamin C, making it a bright, uplifting addition to your diet that gently supports your immune system. It's just a delightfully simple way to add vibrant, wild seasoning to your meals without spending a single dime. So a crucial part of all this is knowing the difference between the plants we step on and the plants that actually heal us. Take broadleaf plantain, for example. I'm not talking about the banana, but that flat rosette of oval, ribbed leaves pushing up right through the grass in your lawn. You've definitely seen it. Well, the young, tender spring leaves have a mild, slightly bitter flavor, very much like Swiss chard, and they are lovely when boiled briefly with just a little butter and a pinch of salt. But its true gift lies in its well-documented anti-inflammatory properties. If you ever get an insect sting or minor skin irritation out in the garden, simply chew a fresh plantain leaf for a second to break it down and apply it directly to the spot. For anyone over 60 dealing with occasional joint discomfort or skin sensitivity, this humble lawnweed is quite literally one of nature's most effective and accessible soothing balms. It's just incredible what we walk over every day. You likely know our next plant very, very well. Cleavers is that familiar sticky weed covered in tiny hooked hairs that just clings to your clothes and to your pet's fur. We've all spent time picking it off our trousers after a walk, right? But before it gets too sticky in early spring, those young shoots are incredibly tender and mild. If you blend them into some cold water or juice, it creates a deeply refreshing, crisp, and slightly earthy spring tonic drink. And this isn't a new fad. Cleavers has been valued for centuries for gently supporting lymphatic health and giving the immune system a lovely boost. It's a wonderful, entirely natural way to help your body clear out that winter sluggishness. And just wait until you hear about our next weed, because I guarantee it's one you've battled with, but probably never thought to invite into your kitchen. All right, our next plant, ground elder, is a weed that genuinely strikes fear into the heart of many gardeners. It just spreads relentlessly. But here's the most incredible irony. It was actually cultivated intentionally by medieval monks as a highly prized medicinal and food crop. If you harvest the young, tender leaves in early spring before the plant flowers, you'll discover a genuinely pleasant flavor. It tastes like fresh celery with a really mild anise undertone. It is absolutely delicious chopped into fresh spring soups or folded into a creamy risotto. Historically, it was used extensively to soothe gout and joint pain. So perhaps the absolute best, most satisfying way to deal with the ground elder invading your flower borders is simply to eat it. Turn your gardening problem right into your dinner. Now let's look over to the hedgerows for the hawthorn. This is a densely branched, thorny shrub that gets covered in beautiful white blossoms in the spring and deep red berries in the autumn. For centuries, the young spring leaves have actually been called bread and cheese because of their mild, nutty, deeply satisfying flavor. They are perfect eaten straight from the branch as a little garden snack or added to a sandwich. And in the autumn, those rich red berries make a complex, fruity jelly that pairs just beautifully with roasted meats. But more importantly, hawthorn has an exceptional, centuries-old reputation in herbal medicine for gently supporting cardiovascular health and circulation. If you are over 60 and looking to naturally support a strong, healthy heart, having a hawthorn bush nearby is an absolute blessing. It's a pharmacy in a hedgerow. The next weed on our list is garlic mustard. It's a tall, invasive woodland plant with triangular, slightly toothed leaves and little white flowers. It spreads very aggressively, but please, before you pull it out and toss it in the green bin, just taste it. The leaves offer an extraordinary complex flavor that perfectly combines the pungency of garlic with the sharp, warm pepperiness of mustard. If you harvest these leaves before the plant flowers in mid-spring, you can blend them up with a little olive oil, some Parmesan, and pine nuts to create an absolutely stunning wild pesto. And like many wild mustard family plants, it's wonderful for gently stimulating digestion and supporting your immune system. You are getting true gourmet flavor for free, you're doing something great for your gut health, and you are literally eating the invasion away. It's a win all around. And now we have arrived at our final plant. I have saved the most extraordinary, the most magnificent discovery for last, the elder tree. You know, it often appears as just a scrubby, fast-growing shrub that many people unfortunately chop down the moment they spot it. But please, if this appears in your yard, let it stay. In early summer, it provides these large, flat clusters of tiny cream-white flowers that have the most intoxicating, honeyed fragrance. They are absolutely perfect for making delicate fritters or a beautiful, refreshing elderflower cordial. And then by late summer, those flowers transform into heavy, drooping bunches of deep purple-black elderberries. These intensely flavored berries make the most wonderful, rich syrups and jams, and they are absolutely packed with incredible immune-supporting compounds that have literally kept families healthy through harsh, cold winters for centuries. Listen to me. It is not a weed. It is truly one of the greatest, most generous, and medicinally powerful gifts that nature could ever plant in your garden. And there we have it, 12 incredible, edible plants growing right outside your door, offering free, abundant, and deeply nourishing food. I want to thank you, sincerely, for spending your time with me today. If this explainer changed the way you see your own garden, please take a moment to hit that like button. It honestly helps this channel reach more people who really need to discover this wonderful information. And be sure to subscribe so you never miss our next journey together. Finally, I would warmly ask you to leave a comment below, telling me which of these weeds surprised you the very most. I read every single comment from every corner of the world, and hearing from you is genuinely one of the greatest joys of creating these explainers. Happy foraging, my friends, and please take very good care of yourselves. Until next time, I leave you with this thought. If all of this was hiding in plain sight in your own backyard, what else is the natural world quietly waiting for you to discover?